Welcome back to the Full Fan Highlight Show. Hit like buttons, subscribe to the Football Terrace now, and a good comeback from Liverpool. There was no way they were going to be beaten by an acronym. There's no way an acronym was beating Liverpool tonight. And I think maybe a little bit like when Tuesday night when Man City were playing Red Star Belgrade, there was a little hope from rivals that Liverpool would crumble, that Liverpool would not stand up to the task, but they were so much better than, is it pronounced LASK? Is that, I think that's how you pronounce it. Decent team, competent ball players, but Liverpool with far too much strength, far too much quality, far too much for them to handle. It was as simple and it was as straightforward as that. Some good performances I felt out there as well tonight. I thought Luis Diaz, as the game grew, started to look at his absolute best. I was really impressed with Ryan Granveberch. Really impressed with him. And he has something which I'm going to be blunt with you, I'm jealous of. Genuinely jealous of. When he turns and he's got some pace to run with the ball. Oh, look at that athleticism. I'm so jealous watching him do it. And look, I know rivals of Liverpool will say it's just a basic pony Europa League game. Don't take too much out of it. You can class shines through it irrespective. The quality of Ryan Gravenberch tonight shone through as far as I was concerned. And I think he looks a class player. I think he'll be an absolute quality addition to this Liverpool midfield, which has been rebuilt. There'll be some concerns for Liverpool fans tonight. Just looking back at the starting lineup, I thought that Harvey Elliott just flattered to deceive. Young, is it pronounced Doak? Look, he's young. I don't know how many appearances he's had. I haven't researched that before I went live. He had some good moments, but he looked a little overwhelmed out there. But I would expect more from Harvey Elliott with the vat of experience that he now has. Endo, again, I thought was just okay. There was nothing stand out from him in terms of, decent touch, decent pass, but nothing that I would say, is excellent from him. I thought Kelleher in goal had a good game for Liverpool as well. Couldn't do nothing about the goal he conceded, but some very important shots later. How do you pronounce his name? There we go. Someone here said, Terry, it's an abbreviation, not an acronym. Well, I thought an acronym, this is the dictionary says, an abbreviation formed from the initials of other words than pronounced as a word. So they are an acronym because you pronounce the 4 letters of their name of their club and it makes a new sound. An acronym is an abbreviation. We just learned something new together. But yes, it is an acronym. So there we go. According to I went onto their page and it says LASK is an acronym of. So they say it themselves. I'm going with what they say. But anyway, we move forward. But yes, look, from my point of view, I thought it was a good performance from Liverpool, good comeback from Liverpool as well. I suppose Liverpool fans will definitely pick more holes in this than I would as a rival. Darwin Nunez was an interesting one for me tonight as well. Absolute handful throughout the course of the game. Got the goal from the penalty. By the way, I don't think it was a penalty. There was a little bit of contact on a follow-through, but the shot had already happened and it had gone wide. I thought it was a little bit soft, but it was given, and Nunez took it. However, in the first half, Darwin Nunez has got to take some of those chances. He has to finish them. I felt he had 3 big chances, and he missed them all. And against better opposition, you could find yourself in a whole heap of trouble if you missed that abundance of quality chances. But he got his goal, he got his assist. Of course, Diaz, I thought the pick of the bunch, the cross from Granveberch was excellent, equally met with a great finish by Luis Diaz. And then Mo Salah came on and started doing Mo Salah things. Omar here says, Bajcetic at right back, odd. Tsimikas, Endu. Is it pronounced Doak? Is it Doak? Doak. It would be Doak, wouldn't it? Oak with a D, Doak. That makes a lot more sense. Doak. Listen, Tsimikas is all right. I think that Endo again, just okay. If you don't shine against teams like this, are you going to be good enough? And I know Liverpool fans won't appreciate me speaking about their academy players like this, but I remember watching Tahi Chong, who's now at Luton. And I watched him play in 4, 5, 6, 7 Europa League games many, many years ago now. And I used to get cooked and attacked by Man United fans when I said he hasn't done anything in any one of them games where I've gone, there's a player in there. What I would say, though, about Doak is there were some moments, there were some good bits of skill, there were some good turns, there were some good dribbles. There's something there. I think maybe he definitely needs some more opportunities. Not his best night. There were times where he looked overawed. But Liverpool fans that have watched him through the academy stages, they would know a lot more about him than I do. So he did something tonight. I've seen academy players hyped up and do diddly squat. I've seen players get hyped up and never even be given a first-team opportunity. And typically that means they're not good enough. You know what Tsimikas is? He's a decent little backup to Robertson, who's still, in my opinion, one of the best left-backs in the world. And Endo, I don't think you needed to do it. Terry, why are your eyes red? They're not. Maybe that was a joke. Maybe it's gone right over my head. But there we go. There we go. Terry, he is 17. Yeah, he's a professional footballer, and I'm assessing his game. And I said there were some good moments. I did think he looks a little overawed at times. I've also said he needs to be given more of an opportunity. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, my God, he looks amazing. I don't think he did look amazing. I think he looked okay. 6.5 out of 10. Not awful. Definitely some great potential there. That's my assessment of his performance. Doak is better than Nketiah. We'll see. We'll see. I haven't watched enough of him to assess that. Terry, Liverpool won. Yeah, Twisted, I know. I don't understand. You cannot assess underage kids. So now we can't assess academy players if they wear Liverpool shirts. Okay. As long as we keep that energy, as long as we keep that energy for all the other clubs, I would like to know. Here, just needs M products. His 1v1s are amazing. Yeah, Ali, I would agree. I agree with you. There were elements of his game I thought, okay, there's someone there. I feel like the occasion overawed him. But Klopp has to test him in these environments, see how he reacts, see how he responds. And it's important to you. You can't just give players home debuts against poor teams, debuts and starts at home against poor teams. You have to test them away, hostile environments, against some difficult teams. See how they react to it, because in the cold, hard light of day in the future, they've got to perform in those environments. So, yeah, not too bad. Terry, just have to say, Dom and Maka showed why they're first-team players. Dom and Maka. Who's Maka? Oh, McAllister. Yeah, sorry. I'm just trying to get out with your nicknames. Yeah, Soboslai. Cool. Yeah, I wouldn't call them Dom and Maka, would I? Yeah, listen, we know how good McAllister is. Excellent player. And Soboslai has been one of the signings of the season so far, not just for Liverpool Football Club, but in general. He's been very, very good indeed. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, it was a weird comment. Of course of course you can. Sorry, no need for deep analysis. Oh, there's no need for analysis on Liverpool, Twisted, because they won. Some of you man are soft, bruv. And do you know what's crazy with some of you soft guys? I know that 99.9% of Liverpool fans watching are thinking, why are you guys part of my team? What are you guys saying? What are you doing? So Liverpool now don't get assessed. You can't assess Liverpool's youngsters, and we can't assess or analyze Liverpool's wins. You know why I call you guys communist Merseyside sometimes? Because this stuff is crazy, bruv. Oh my God. And I actually feel sorry for the Liverpool fans watching. They're like, what are you talking about? 19 Premier League trophies and 6 UCLs more than Arsenal. Again, a completely random, needless comment. But thank you. Oh, thank you. You do make me laugh. You do make me laugh. Facts. You know it. Yeah, it's crazy. Terry, thoughts on the first half for Liverpool? Average. Some good approach play, some good chances created, poor finishing. I actually felt that LASK got in a little bit too often, caught you cold from a corner, and it was a poor first half by your standards. But I still felt like you would win. I saw people online winding up the football gods. Oh, Liverpool losing. I'm like, oh, please be quiet. All you're going to do is tempt fate. Why are you bantering them now? As I go back and check my tweets, and Liverpool still win. And you ended up battering 3 goals past them in the second half. You really should have scored 4, 5, 6 against them. But yeah, look, 4.5, 5 out of 10 by your standards first half, but you took over and you beat them very comfortably. Thank you there, Francisco. Long time no see. Big up to yourself as well. Terry, can you save my eyes having to read super chats from my own fan base? I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. I've got to put them up. It's the rules of the terrace. We put up all super chats, unless people are saying something disgusting in them. Do you know what I mean? Like Rashford's rubbish or something like that. Then we don't show it. There we go. Mo Salah showed what he is all about, and VVD was amazing, and that Leacher goal was great. Oh, you guys call him Leacher as well? That's what we call Sandro Martinez. Sorry, I got a bit confused. Yeah, the goal was great. The goal was great. We know what Mo Salah is. Mo Salah is your greatest ever player in the Premier League era. The only reason I don't assess the era that came before that is because I wasn't alive to really remember it. This guy delivers more for you than anybody else I've witnessed for your football club. He's your greatest ever player in this Premier League era, certainly in the Jurgen Klopp era. And if he had, I've told you Liverpool fans this before, forget even talking about is he the GOAT at your club. You actually probably should have. I'm going to give you guys a tip because I know how debates work. Okay. You lot have got to crown him as your GOAT. And I'll tell you as to why. Because if he keeps scoring and assisting and winning trophies like he has done for another 2 or 3 years, he will be in the GOAT conversation for the Premier League. But you're never going to get him crowned as the GOAT of the Premier League if you don't say he's your best player, because then it becomes impossible. How can the best player in the Premier League era not be the best player at your club? Think outside the box here. Look beyond the end of your nose. That will be how you come unstuck in the debates. And I know you love Gerrard, but wouldn't you rather have the Premier League GOAT as your player? Shouldn't it be more about your club than an individual player and someone repping them there? I'm just saying, I'm telling you how you'll lose the debate. How do I know this? Because I school everybody in debates with their hypocrisy. And this one's just, I can see you guys setting it up. And then what you'll do is you'll go, oh, bloody hell. Why didn't we just say he was our best player? It's done then. You can't change it. It's set in stone. The streets won't forget. So crown him. Gerrard won't care. And he is your best player anyway. I'm just telling you now. And I am spot on because I know how the debates work. And then it'll be that mic drop moment. And oh, no, I'm done out here. And if this guy picks up another Prem, another Champions League, which is plausible, some more domestic trophies, and keeps scoring and assisting like he is, he's already on par with Henry's numbers. And he's won things in England that Henry didn't. He just needs 1 or 2 more major trophies, but there we go. Anyway, I love Gerrard, but Salah got the Prem with us. He's the man, bro. Listen, I think he is, but that's just my personal opinion. Evening, Terry. Gerald Kwanzaa did not play this game. What do you think? Liverpool need 1 or 2 centre-backs. What do you think about him as a player? I only watched him play 1 game. I know he came on in another. I watched him play last game. I thought he was your best defender. I don't know why he wasn't playing today. I didn't do much research into the game, to be fair. I just put it on and watched it. So it's hard for me to judge a player I've seen play once. But he looks very, very capable. In terms of centre-backs, I do think Liverpool need to invest in the area come January. Scholes said Gerrard was better than Scholes. I know he did. And he's a very humble man. Also, just if we're going to go down this road, remember, the greatest midfielder ever, Zidane, said it was Scholes. So we can do that. The other day, Pep said he's not greater than Fergie. So, again, if we take what people say about themselves or seriously, then fine. But you can't do it for one and not all. So, again, remember to keep that energy. I'm just telling you how you'll come unstuck in a debate. Trust me. Right, I'm going to bring out little Tom Stroh. Sam's with us. We've also got G with us on the show as well. We'll have a little bit of a chat about the West Ham game coming up this weekend. Also, hit the like and the share button, people. Let's bring the panel out now to have their say on the game. Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're all well.
What's good?
What's going on, man?
Good win tonight, Tom.
The result was good, yeah. I thought we were quite naff in the first half. It was a big game for a lot of players to, stake their claim for a real starting spot. And I thought in the first half, the only three players who at half time I was going, you were all right, was Gravenberch, Van Dijk, and Doak. Bajcetic was better in the second half. I thought Bajcetic was really good in the second half, but it took the subs to come on to really change the game. Am I all that bothered? No. We've got the win. That's all that matters. I saw some things to be happy about. I think Nunez is that link up that we've got in that front three of Diaz, Nunez, and Salah is a really dangerous link up. I thought Ryan Gravenberch was really impressive on his first full start. Really good things from him in terms of driving the ball forward, actually progressing us, stuff that we've needed in midfield for a fair while. And we didn't have I've got to be honest. I've tried to keep my mouth shut on this. Kostas Tsimikas is he's the most infuriating player. He's the most infuriating player at times. He's been at the club 3 years now? 3 years, and I still don't think he knows what goal side is, for one. Yeah, he seems to get caught out constantly with that front. But on an attacking end today, which is his supposed strength, I don't think he made a single correct decision. I think that was an issue we had as a whole, to be honest. The amount of times we'd get, into the final third or trying to go on the counter or something, and we'd make the wrong decision. We'd hold on to it too long. We'd pass it to the wrong player. In that first half, there was a number of times where Ben Doak was completely free, but we'd go to the left for Diaz or Nunez, and the worst one was when we were on a counter, 3-4 on 1, 3-4 on 2, I think it was in the end, and Tsimikas just decides to keep running and get tackled, and we lose a really good counter-attacking opportunity. That was a common theme throughout the game. But the subs came on, got the job done. Should be top of the group after. I haven't seen the other results. I don't know if we are top of the group. I don't know if Union and St. Joe we are sound. So job's done. Job's done. It not a great performance, but I'm not really too fussed. They were a decent side. I didn't expect them to be as front-footed as they were, to be honest. They're a decent little side, and I think it's a little bit of a wake-up call for what we're going to face in this competition. And I think it was a much needed one because hopefully it pushes certain players up a level because performances they weren't good enough.
I hear you on that. Stro, do you echo there what Thomas said?
Yeah, Tsimikas was terrible. Exactly what Tom said, to be honest, is I swear he should sign a contract extension as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. And it's the problem I've got with him is if you're signing a contract extension, you're brought in to give Robertson a rest for these kind of games, the cup games, the Carabao Cup game against Leicester, the Europa League now, which is a perfect opportunity for us to rest players. To be fair, it wasn't just him, but the decision making in the first half was awful. I know Tom's already alluded to it, but the one where we're literally breaking and all he's got to do is release one of the front men. And he just holds on to it, and it's just the decision making is so poor from him. But Granveberch, I love the look of some really good touches in tight areas. Endo, I thought struggled. I thought Endo really, really struggled in some bad moments. I think the substitutes did well. Bajcetic struggled. First half wasn't great, but look, reality of the situation is we're going to come up against teams like that. I don't think we expect them to be on the front foot. Reality is, throughout the Champions League and the Europa League, you're going to come up against teams that will be a lot more physical. You'll notice one of them left one late on Van Dijk. They were leaving bits after challenges. You're going to come up against teams like that. And that's where it's going to be a test for us to keep our head. Konate lost his head in the first half, got himself booked. Bajcetic's got himself booked shortly afterwards. And it's those kind of moments where we need to just keep our heads because we'll end up getting sent off. And then we'll end up playing the game with 10 men. And then we could end up losing one. But the situation is, it's a job done. It's just one of them games.
Yeah, I hear you on that. Sam's here with us too. I wanted to get your thoughts actually on Ryan Gravenberch tonight because he seemed to be one of the standout top performers.
Aesthetically, he looks pleasing. I'm not going to lie to you. When he gets on the ball, the way he turns and collects the ball, he's actually He's actually a very good footballer. For his first game, he actually did all right. At one point, I was saying he was man of the match because he was playing better than the rest of the guys, especially on his debut. But the level was quite low with the rest of the guys. I'm glad he got his assist. That was actually a brilliant cross to Diaz. But yeah, like Granveberch, he seems like once Klopp gets a hold of him and he starts improving and improving more, he's going to be a real player for us. I guess my only qualm for this game, and it's been for a couple of games, is the way that we start games is very sluggish. Like it looks like we came into the game and it was like we said it's LASK. We'll get the job done anyways, and that's how we played. There was just a lot of lazy passes, a lot of guys that were falling over the ball, especially Tsimikas. That's my word. But I think it's a mentality issue because on Sunday we can't do that against West Ham, because I tell you what, if we are 1-0 down against West Ham, they are going to defend for their lives, absolutely defend for their lives, and they're a very hard team to break down. So we can't do that. I know West Ham are playing today, so they might, I don't know, tiredness for Sunday as well, because it's a Europa League. It's harder than what they had done last year, but I know we'll win against West Ham. It's the start of the game. Start of the games every time. Start of the game. Stop being sluggish. Stop being sluggish, and we'll be fine.
You know what, Samuel? This particular game, it was expected, but I think that's the problem. It even happens with our strongest 11. So I think you're spot on that we started slow. But for me, there was no surprises today. I expected this. I predicted 3-1. I knew we would start slow. I was a bit disappointed with the majority of our fringe players, bar Granveberch, because I think Bajcetic, cool. He's not played, I don't think, a minute of football yet, but he's a bit rash, picked up the yellow. He looked a bit fatigued. Endo was just getting barged about like there was no tomorrow. Like Endo, I heard that Terry saying earlier in the video, if you can't prove yourself against these teams, and it's not like he's a Granveberch or a Bajcetic that's not had any minutes this season. He has. It's a bit worrying, to be fair. And Tsimikas, back to what Tom was saying earlier, the one that frustrated me the most, we know he has these lackadaisical moments in him, but you know when it will be 1-0 down, just before half time, and we went on that break, just release the ball. Just release the ball. I don't know why he held on to the ball too much. But there's something I noticed today, and I hope it's just today, and I hope it's not a common theme. And this is a question to the panel. Did you not notice Granveberch didn't really trust Nunez? Nunez was on 3 times and he would go the other way.
Yeah, but do you blame him though, Rom? But do you blame him though? Like, I mean, like, do you blame him?
Yes and no.
It was just poor decision making the whole time. You had in the first half, Luis Diaz fed Nunez when Doak was the one. It was just you'd watch the game. The thing that people used to bash the likes of Curtis Jones about, I was just watching everything wrong with it today. You could have given us 17 3v1s and we would have made the wrong decision 17 times. That was just how that game went. It got a little bit better when Szoboszlai came on because he's class. When Salah came on because he's class. But watching the likes of Elliott make the wrong decisions, Granveberch make the wrong decisions, Diaz make the wrong decisions, Nunez make the wrong decisions, Tsimikas not do anything right for the whole game, Bajcetic make the wrong decisions. It's tax on you because you're sitting there going, it's simple things. It's not like you're getting played off the park by a better team or this, that, no. It's things in your control that are simple and you're not doing it right. And that is my annoyance. That's my main gripe with it. If you'd have, let's say you made the right decision, but the defenders come in and intercepted it or something, I can't knock that. I can be a little bit annoyed, but I can't go, you should have done this. But when I'm watching a 3-on-1 and Kostas Tsimikas decides the best way forwards is to keep dribbling and get himself tackled, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make, and that needs to be sourced out because these fringe players are going to be playing a lot this season. I can't keep having performances like this. I can't because it's going to cost us eventually.
It's individual mistakes. I'm not even gonna lie. There was individual it's sometimes I've seen people blame this like on Klopp and the way the formation is. Today, I couldn't even say that. I was just like, there was simple things that people were doing, and it was just like, what are you doing? Like, Klopp is not telling you to do that. I'm not gonna lie. With Nunez is a funny one to answer Rom's question because he wasn't that good. He's a handful, but he wasn't that good. But as soon as Salah comes on, he's a different player. His link up with Salah, he is brilliant. And it's kind of like when Salah is not there, he's all right. When Salah is there, he's brilliant. So I don't know who would do this. For me, the front three has to be Nunez, Diaz, and Salah. But he's confusing. He's confusing.
Yeah. But don't you think that's more of a Salah thing, though, as opposed to it being a Nunez thing? Because Salah is obviously Salah. So when you've got that kind of player, we don't have any other player of that level in our attack. So when you've got a world-class talent, he can kind of make really anybody, to be honest, look good. Even someone like Nunez, who I don't think is that good. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like it's more him than it is a Salah because, yeah.
No, it ain't that. 100% it ain't that.
What else could it be then? There is no other real answer because, as he just said, when Salah's not there, he doesn't even look good. But when Salah is there, he makes everybody look good. So what is it?
Yeah, but so for example, right, we've watched football long enough our entire lives. There's certain players that will naturally gravitate towards certain players that will make them better. For example, Dwight York and Andy Cole. When them two weren't together, they were good, but they were nowhere near the level as when they were playing together. They were still great players. So when you look at Nunez and Salah, they work well with each other because they complement each other. That's just football. Nunez, he's young. He's still trying to find his feet. He's still trying to understand English. You can tell there's a player there. It's not because Salah's making it better. Salah, don't get me wrong, Salah can make anyone look better. But when you look at Nunez, he's got the raw skills and the raw abilities to become a real top-class player. He's just not found his feet yet. That's the difference.
How long are we waiting for this finding feet? I feel like I've heard this all last season. Sorry, Jay, I cut you off like that, but I feel like this is a repeat of last season. All I heard all last season was, just waiting for him to find his feet, learn language, this, that, and the third. We start this season. Just need to find his feet, this, that, and the third. How long are we waiting?
Look, this is the problem with fans these days, is they automatically think they're going to buy the finished article. He's not Haaland. We can't compare him to the likes of Haaland, who's come and hit the ground running, because they're different players. Nunez has come from South America. He's gone to Portugal. He's played there. His second season, he was unbelievable for him. First season, he struggled because he was trying to get used to the Portuguese league. And it's exactly the same in the Premier League. And one thing which hasn't helped Nunez, and let's be completely honest, is we've not been the level of team we were at 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, that's facts. But my only issue with the whole performance, and that includes Nunez as well, is Liverpool go too direct for my liking. We've got players that can play through the thirds, and we try to go over the top direct at every opportunity. And we do that in the Premier League. We do that now. It's why we start games poorly, because what happens is we get the ball, Virgil van Dijk boots the ball long into Salah, boots the ball long into Nunez, boots the ball long into Dope, boots the ball long into Diaz, and then we go and try play there. All that happens is the other team goes and wins it, and it becomes like a pinball game. And if you look at the games that we've had recently, all the games have been pinball games. Newcastle was the same. Diaz had a chance, and then all of a sudden they went and scored against us, and Gordon had a chance on us. The same thing happened in this game. We went direct, it came back, they went and had a corner, and they scored a goal from it. I don't understand why, even in games like today, where the onus is on you to go and have possession, the manager or the players can't seem to go and keep the ball and break teams down systematically, as opposed to still being, hey, we've got direct players, so let's be really direct. I get that we've got Doak on, I get that we get Nunez on, but that for me is the issue that Nunez has got, is because when there's spacing behind, Nunez is a problem. And guess what? LASK started getting stretched in that second half. So when Salah comes on and Salah's attracting players, it means that there's spacing behind. When there's no space for him, it just like we can't do anything. And it's the same with Diaz as well. There's no space, and we're asking him to take on two guys. He then passes it back to Granveberch, who just knocks it off, and the game just becomes boring. It's like the team needs to find another way of being able to go and play, especially when the onus is on us to go and have possession. Because otherwise, I mean, we've got the players for it, but otherwise we're going to look terrible. Even McAllister just looks non-existent a lot of the time in games. It's like he's just being bypassed. It's like we give the ball to Szoboszlai, he runs with the ball and carries it. If not, he spreads the ball out wide really, really quickly. And it's like McAllister can't even keep up. He's defending at one point, then he's trying to support the attack, then the ball's going over the top of him. It's just mad for me. And I think, it's like I said, for me, I don't know. This
You know
performance
what's
isn't great at
what's
all.
so mad?
You seem like you seem. I know you've won, Jerry, but you just seem disappointed with the overall performance.
Yeah, Terry, because I'm looking at it and these players we've bought these players and we've assembled this squad to go and have more squad depth than we did, especially in midfield and especially in different areas. The whole point of this game for me, more so than the Wolves game, was to go and test our depth and see, all right, let's see what our depth can do. Elliott's now had 3 seasons in the first team. We've got other players now that have obviously stepped up. We've got Granveberch who's come in. We've got obviously Konate, Van Dijk who started. Kelleher who's had now 3 seasons playing first team football for Liverpool. Of course, not having loads of games, but we know how good he is. Tsimikas has been at Liverpool for 3 seasons now. Endo's an experienced player. We should be able to break a team down. Basically, the last 10 minutes of the second half should have been the whole game for Liverpool. That's how it should have been the whole game. Instead, in that first half, we could have easily conceded twice. Including the goal that we lost. So I don't know.
That's where I think the worry comes from. Like I alluded to earlier, it's the fact that the French players didn't really grasp this opportunity for me. Yes, the only one I could really say is Granveberch, and I'm not trying to be disingenuous to Badgett, actually just came back, but your Tsimikas is who played alongside Dijk as well. Obviously, Konate just come back from a little layoff as well. Diaz, I think, could have did a bit more. Yes, he's elusive. Yes, he's a live wire. We know what we're going to get with him. But I think when I look at our front three, for me, I thought he should have took the game by the scruff of his neck. And it wasn't only really until the start of the second half that he did that. But I think that's the main worry for us Liverpool fans this game. We felt like the fringe play should have did a bit more. I knew we would win this game. There wasn't one moment in this game where I thought, we're going to draw this. I knew we would win this game. But yeah. I think you're spot on, JJ.
I get where you're coming from as well, JJ, in the sense of it's this conceding first thing. I still think you're good enough to win. Look, you're good enough to win the Europa League. You're good enough to make it into the top 4. But conceding first in games, you're never winning the Premier League. And I think that for me, and I know there was a comment that came in a minute ago, it made me laugh about you. It says Jerry wants to win every game 10-0. I don't think it's that. I think Jerry's assessing games based on, I want us to get back to the level to be able to win the Premier League, or am I misinterpreting you?
No, 100%. That's the level we all want to obviously aspire to. I'm not saying I predicted Liverpool to win 4-2, but in terms of the performance, no one can sit here and tell me that the performance was great. I took into account, it's going to be a mismatched backline. It's going to be a different midfield. We've conceded every single game bar Aston Villa this season. So, hey, we're going to concede. I mean, like on paper, it does look like if you're a betting man. But to go and see how the game, that first half panned out, like even Klopp was scratching his head. Klopp was shaking his head in that first half. So is Klopp wrong as well? Is Klopp happy with that performance? I doubt it. It took our best players to go and come into the field and just see the game out, which which Klopp wouldn't want. Klopp would have loved to go and rest Szoboszlai and bring Salah on for the last 5 minutes and be like, wow, do you know what I mean? We've done this without this team. It means this second team that we've got, these fringe players, can actually elevate our team and give the likes of Salah and stuff a break, which means that we can focus on the Premier League. Now we know at the Europa League, if that's the first test, how's Toulouse, how's Union Saint USG going to be? Do you know what I mean? Are they going to be tougher tests when we go deeper into the competition? Are we going to have to go and play our big names now? And we all started this season thinking this is the competition to rotate. So
I think
you're not wrong. 100%, you're not wrong. Sorry to cut you off. You're not wrong in terms of the level of performance. It's just the way I looked at it was I knew it was going to be sloppy, especially in the first half, purely based on the fact that you've got a back line that hasn't played with each other. Badgett is the first time playing in the inverted role. So there was always going to be question marks there in terms of how he's going to handle it and how he's going to adapt to the game. The midfield's never played with each other. Granveberch's first start. So I always knew that was going to be difficult in terms of the thing that let us down was our ball control and our decision making.
Sorry, Athens just scored a ridiculously good diving header from the edge of the 18-yard box. Sorry, I thought my mic was on mute. Oh, wow. I mean...
Terry, that was a mad noise that you made.
That was like Gary, when Gary Neville did that.
The only thing that's really going through my head right now is Man United are worse than fucking Athens. I was watching it again. Was it even outside the box? It was in the box. Look at this. Bang. Oh. Anyway, sorry, back to you, Stro.
No, I was just saying, like, the reality of the situation is it was going to be sloppy, especially when you look at that midfield. You got Elliott, you got Gravenberch for his first start. He didn't play much for Bayern Munich at all. And then you've got Endo, and there's still question marks in terms of, is he up to the physicality? Is he up to the pace? The thing that let us down was our decision making and our actual on the ball play. Too many sloppy passes, too many times poor decision making, giving the ball away. But you expect that from a team that haven't played with each other. So I agree the performance wasn't great. I just feel like we're being way too negative.
Do you know what it is? I think both things can be. Sorry, Terry, I will be quick. Both things can be right at the same time. I do agree it wasn't a great performance, but then I agree with Stroh that it is the first time playing with each other in different compartments. My thing is that what with the first team, I'm completely fine with the first team. The first 11 that we have is brilliant, and I think we can push on to do great things this season. My only worry is that I need our fringe players, our squad depth players to cling together as well, because it might be a thing where we play a Europa League game and then one of these teams have like a bookie 1-0, 2-0 start, and we're not at the races. We're just not at the races. And sometimes Klopp does this where he leaves the main players at home because he's having a rest for like a big game in the week on a Saturday or on a Sunday, and we lose. I actually do want to win this competition. That's my only worry with the squad depth.
I hear you guys on that. There's a comment here. I don't know where Jerry ended up disappearing, but it said that he doesn't agree at all. We play very slow out the back and always go through the middle. So here, Jamie Phillips is completely disagreeing with Jerry's take that you guys are direct.
Do you know what? It's so funny because I went on Hissam's halftime space and somebody actually said the complete opposite to what Jerry was saying. So I was thinking, oh, this is interesting that Jerry said that, because the guy that spoke believes that we play a bit too possessive, that we're not direct at all, and that we're not quick enough with the ball. So it was interesting hearing his take and Jerry's take.
Yeah, when Jerry's not here to answer. So you got him, bro.
The thing with this performance, I'm not going to get too down in the dumps about it. Yeah, it wasn't great, but the most important thing is more players got minutes in their legs. Hopefully, the performance has improved with the more time they get on the pitch. Hopefully, some relationships develop between players who haven't played together, because there will be times, especially when we get injuries, where you may have your 9 of your first 11, but 2 players may need to come in because we get a couple of injuries here or there, something like that. So it wasn't great, but they get minutes in their legs. They get to play some competitive football. Look, it's a weird one, right? Because we've been used to playing Champions League football for the last 6-7 seasons. And I said to KJ earlier on today, when he sent me the link, he was like, "Are you free for the match reaction?" I was like, "Europa League? Do I have to be?"
It's my channel, and I hate doing Europa League, even when it's Man United. It's just yeah.
So none of us are like super up for it, because we want to be playing on Tuesday and Wednesday. And I can understand to some extent why some of the players might be. Some of the younger players are probably more up for it. But let's ease ourselves into it. We'll get minutes into the players' legs, and then hopefully it can lead to bigger, better things as the season progresses.
More to the point, like let's not forget. Let's go back a few years and tell you about me for this, right? Living a stone's throw away from the worst, most disgusting stadium on planet Earth in Old Trafford, right? Years and years ago, when they had Fergie, in games like this, he would rotate players. But United would struggle because it was a side that hadn't played with each other much, and they would have to bring players on to get the result. It happens. I've seen this time and time again in European games. It's just one of them days.
Do you know what? I actually think for our next 5 group games, this will be the same story. I just think we're going to start off sluggish every game.
1,000%.
Well, the year that Jose Mourinho won the Europa League with Man United, and even the years where we got to the semis and the finals with Oli, the group stages weren't plain sailing. There was scrappy games, difficult matches. Typically what happens is you get to... Listen, I understand what Jerry was saying. I understand what his standards are. Equally, I didn't think you guys were as bad as he made out tonight. If Darwin Nunez finishes his dinner in that first half, you go in at half time 2-1, 3-1 up, and then maybe finish the game 4-5-6 with 6 goals and nobody bats an eyelid. Sometimes performances can be marred by the missing of chances. And I know that very well, being a Man United fan right now, you're like, should have been 2-0 up before we conceded that goal. The game would have been different. So the finishing is key. There's a super chat here. I will let G respond to this. But Michael Ramsey says, Terry, why did you bring on 6 rubbish Liverpool fans, especially that waste man G? Liverpool was just getting ready for West Ham on Sunday.
I didn't know G was still here. I thought that was KG.
No. Look, at the end of the day, I'm kind of with what Jerry said. The performance for me was poor. I feel like this season, all I've heard is, yeah, but we got the win. And facts, Liverpool got the win. 3 points, job done. We all move on. No one's going to care. No one's going to bat an eyelid. The record books are not going to show us the sofa score ratings and all that kind of stuff. No one cares. Do you get what I mean? But ultimately, I'm watching these games. We don't look comfortable in most of these games, bar maybe the Aston Villa game. We're looking quite uncomfortable. I mean, we're conceding goals every single game. If that's not a cause for concern, then I don't even know what is anymore. Do you get what I mean? But like he said, we're winning games. So the record books don't really care. And to be honest, I don't really care. I said it before on a match reaction. If we can scummy our way to a title or to a top 2 finish in Europe, I'll take it. I'll take it every day of the week. But I just don't see this being a sustainable thing throughout a whole season. As Terry rightfully said, yeah, top 4 and all of that, this is great. Yeah, you can keep doing these kind of things. You're trying to win a title and you're telling me that you can go every game and just keep conceding first. At some point, the buck's going to have to stop. You cannot. I've never ever seen in the let's say 25 years I've watched football, I've never seen a team who's able to just concede all the time and win a league, for example. Like, it just doesn't happen.
Gary Neville got crucified last year, but including me at times, when he was saying Arsenal just can't see him winning it because they just leak. He wasn't even saying goals at the beginning. He was saying they leaked too many chances. And in the end, he was right. Gary Neville said the same thing about Liverpool back in the 2013-14 season when you guys were going well. I remember watching your Norwich game, and I think Jamie Carragher, he had retired by then, Carragher, I think, and he turned around and said, I think we can win it. And Gary Neville said, I'm just concerned you're still conceding too many chances and goals, and I think in the end you'll succumb to that. And it's very, very true. Fergie said this for years, and it stands true to this day. Defenses win you titles, attacks win you games.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah, I just want to say what you said about SofaScore as well. SofaScore won't give you the full picture, and I think we have to stop using SofaScore, not stats, but ratings. You know,
no, I was using that as a context, not as I
know, but we shouldn't look at them. Onana last night got a 7 on SofaScore.
Oh no, I watched the game. That was not a 7. That was not a 7. That was not a 7.
The next time some little virgin comes to you on Twitter and says my ball is great and shows you a SofaScore, remember Onana got a 7 after that mistake. But yeah,
Terry,
go on.
Quickly, the amount of times I've seen a player play well and SofaScore rating them less than a 6. It's like, this is why you need to watch the game with your. I don't even check SofaScore at all.
I think they base everything on stats, you know. I think their rating isn't actually based on the performance. It's based literally on the stats in your position. So if you play midfield, then they'll base it on midfield, like midfield statistics and things like that.
What also happens with it, so let's say we'll keep it to say Mo Salah winds up 3 man on the side, then puts a brilliant cross in, but Nunez doesn't run and get it. So, or Nunez doesn't anticipate that isn't there, and your opponents pick the ball up. There'll be a point taken off, there'll be scores taken off of Mo Salah for giving away possession. That's the issue. You run purely on stats. Is not every time. There was a ball that was played last night by Bruno into Højlund. Højlund made the wrong run, but the ball was perfect. But the stats will show that Bruno gave the ball away. So you have to, you do have to watch the game.
But it's like Ryan Giggs in '99. When you look at his stats that season, you think he was one of the worst players. But when you watch Ryan Giggs in 1999,
yeah, he was just he was impeccable that seison. He just didn't get a lot of assists or goals, but everything else that he did.
He was the assister though. That was the problem.
Breaking lines. But again,
I was going to say quite quickly. Yeah. I do hear what Jerry and G are saying, and the way I look at this is that when it comes to Liverpool, the only game that I really do agree with is the Newcastle game. The Newcastle game, we did ride a little bit with that game, but every time we have conceded first, especially the Wolves game, the what was the other game, the Bournemouth game, and even this game. The second half, we haven't allowed these teams to even get a chance on goal. So there is something there that I can say to myself that we are going to get better. And if you ask yourself this, this is the rebuild. As we could say, the Klopp 2.0. If you think that we are the finished product right now, then I'm worried. If you don't think we're the finished product right now, then we got something to look forward to.
So, Samuel, I've been saying against the smaller teams, obviously we don't want to be conceding first. We don't, especially Liverpool fans. But against the smaller teams, I think we will continue to get out of these situations for the sheer fact our firepower is greater than the majority of the teams. But for me, there's two teams we just can't afford to concede first to, and that is Arsenal and City. And I'm even going to go as far as saying at Anfield and away, because I think sometimes our fans are under this illusion, if we concede first at Anfield, it'll be like last season where, I know we didn't against City, but like Arsenal, if we concede first again, we can just come back. It could be different, and I think Arteta's learned from certain mistakes. For me, it's them two teams where I wouldn't, but anyone else pretty much. It's double-edged sword, because in a way, it's like even when we know we're conceding first against both teams.
If you're at home, definitely. I think there's some teams you don't want to concede first to Brighton away. I think Villa away when they're on point, Fulham if you're away, Newcastle away. There's lots of teams away from home. Spurs, those teams you don't want to concede first against. But at home against most other sides, you'll be all right. Super Chat here says Harvey Elliott brings nothing, overhyped.
He didn't really play well today. I won't lie to you. He didn't really play. There's something that I do rate Curtis, because I was slating Curtis Jones last season, but one thing that Curtis Jones did, he improved. That's the thing about it. He improved, and you can argue he's a first teamer. You can argue that for this season with Harvey Elliott, he hasn't really improved that to that point so much. Where, is he a first teamer? Nah, not really, and he didn't really help himself today.
I hear you on that. This is Terry. Ignore the pointless messages, please. Us Liverpool fans are here for the analysis. I know you are. It's just the strange ones. The strange ones who turn up to every single Liverpool stream but hate when I talk about Liverpool. Like, actually deep that. Make that make sense. It's so strange to me. I want to thank everybody that's tuned in to the Full Fan Highlight Show tonight. We really appreciate it. Please hit the like button before you leave. My panel's been amazing. My super chatters, you're out of this world. Back tomorrow with, I don't know, in the morning. Whatever's trending, I'll be talking about it. Hussam and I are back in the afternoon around 2:30, I believe. The Top 6 show at 6, previewing that pesky little North London derby as well. So big day tomorrow on the Football Terrace. Make sure you are here. They should have equalised Brighton. Terrible. Why couldn't they miss the chances on Saturday? It gets on my tits. It gets on my tits when I see a team like kill us and then play badly a game later. Until next time, people, take care. Goodbye. God bless. And we'll see you all.